Hello and welcome back to yet another episode of Boss Your Business. And today I'm really excited because we are going into practical spirituality. That's what I call it. Just enough woo with enough everyday stuff. But let's start in the beginning. Everybody, I want you to meet Ambila. You are known for your straight talk spirituality, which is why I loved your submission to the podcast. You are also a serial entrepreneur, certified coach, spiritual leader, international speaker, award-winning magazine author, and an avid follower of your passion. Passion is one of my passions too. Ambila is far from your stereotypical spiritual coach with a corporate background in management consulting. And you went from a six-figure job to building a spiritual business. Your clients span over 4 continents, and you know that the most incredible journeys you can take is the one in building a relationship with yourself. Life is complicated. We are complicated. And I say, let's make it a little bit easier. You are helping manifest businesses you love using strategies and spirituality to align your energy, shift your mindset, and create positive daily habits. Habits. What is happening with my tongue today? And you say the key to manifesting a successful business is knowing who you are. And man, we are diving right in with that one because have I been on a journey to figure out who the hell I actually am? Oh my God. Hi, how are you, Ambila?
Hi, thank you for all of that introduction and thank you for bearing with all of that introduction. I'm very well, thank you.
It's interesting when I get submissions and I get submissions. It's just based on the podcast. I get a lot of different submissions, and because it's a lot of different businesses, I don't necessarily just go spiritual. I don't just go productivity. So when your submission came in to become a guest, I was really, really intrigued because I loved the combination of practical approach with the spiritual approach. As practical as I am, I'm German, right? It's all about processes. It all has to be logical. It all has to make sense. There's so many things between heaven and earth that don't make sense. So that's where, for me, woo comes in. I always jokingly and lovingly call it woo.
Yeah.
But it still has to find the balance. So my first question always is, and I'm really curious what comes out of this one, especially with you coming from a corporate background and going into a spiritual business. How did you get here? What is your path of turning a full-on corporate job into a spiritual business? I'm curious about that one.
Okay, let me reassure people it was never planned.
Is it ever really though? Do we ever plan this stuff?
Yeah, the logical part was that I was going to be a businesswoman, that I was going to have my own business. It was going to be coaching because I'm passionate about working with people, behavior, psychology, everything about how we tick. So that was a given that at some point I was going to do that. The spiritual journey, never planned. I never thought I would be that person. I always, so let's take it back a little bit. So I, as you said, come from a corporate background. You know, I did the degree, I did, you know, what society wanted. You go and get into the corporate world, you know, build your career up. And I did all of that. I loved it. Headed for burnout. And I thought, okay, this is the time for me to start rethinking about my life and what I wanted to do. And I thought, okay, this is the time for me to start really thinking about it. And coaching or life coaching at the time was just beginning in the UK. So we are going back to 2003. Well, 2002, 2003-ish. And it was only coming known in the corporate market. Having spent a decade in the corporate market, the last thing I wanted to do was be a coach teaching people how to team build. And I thought, no, this is going to do my head in. So I wanted to go down the personal route. People weren't prepared because it was something new.
Yeah.
In this country, people were used to counseling, and even the word counseling back in the day was you saying to them, you need to be in a mental asylum. And all of a sudden the doors closed, everything closed. So it took me a long time after I qualified, and I wasn't able to really make an income relating to coaching at that time. So I kind of then went, okay, what practical things can I add on? So decluttering came into it, because I thought that's an easy way of clearing, but indirectly you're coaching. Then all of a sudden that turned into a very successful interior design business, which my mind told me to give up, because you can only have one business. You can only succeed in one thing. So that was the corporate thinking in me, that you can only succeed doing one thing, one job for life, one job for this.
Yeah.
So the passion is still there, but the business isn't there anymore, not in the context that it used to be. So from that, I went, okay, coaching, back into it. It didn't work, in the sense that the systems weren't there. The internet wasn't ready for us, in the sense of all of the online programming, Zoom, everything we can have now still didn't exist. So I was still local and national. And then I went, okay, event management, because for me, I always looked at my skills. I never looked at my title. So I never felt restricted with what I could do.
I think we are pretty similar on that, where yes, I use titles to convey something.
Yes.
It's more an external of, yes, I'm a business efficiency consultant. People can envision something. Yes, I'm looking for an OBM. I was literally just talking with a friend of mine where it's like, okay, I'm gonna need like a project manager, OBM, COO, where it's like they all cross over, and I'm literally just using the title to try to explain what I'm looking for, but in the end, it doesn't matter.
No.
It's just an external thing.
Exactly. As long as you can find the skills, you can do anything and everything. When you just hang on the title, you've put yourself into a box.
Yeah.
And then when you want to grow or do something else, you look for the same box, but fit into a different corporate role. So being in my own business, as in being in charge of my own career, I went, okay, can't go into coaching in the way that I want. I still need to make money. Let's go back into, what can I do? What would I enjoy doing? Event management. So I opened an events business. Again, really good. I loved it. Because I used my project management skills. I used, and I'm very good with people and networking and bringing people together. And I'm very fantastic at delegating. So all of those primary things, worked really well. And that's also when the spiritual journey started, because where I live now, very truncated, like one sentence. So I'm a British Asian woman, that's Indian, for the people in the US. And I had restrictions with regards to what was expected of me as a woman, not being able to have a successful career, second to a man. It's all about his dreams, and I fought it. And hence I ended up in the city that I'm in now. Just to say, everything is back. I have wonderful relations with my family again, built everything back. We're a very happy family, very successful. So that's the end of that story. But being here meant that I was alone, because I came to a city, I didn't know anybody. And I used to go and get tarot readings, just to make sure everything was going to be okay. And one of the people I went to, she said to me, oh, I'm going to be starting a psychic circle. Would you like to join? And I went, what on earth is that? She says, I help people to open up to their intuition. I went, oh, okay. Didn't know you could do that. I went, okay. And that for me, my brain was just thinking, I'm new in town. I get to meet people. It's something to do. And why not? It's something I'm kind of interested in. So it's the spiritual part was just started in exploring, having fun and meeting people. And then I got good at it. She was fantastic. I still put her in such a pedestal. She was such a brilliant teacher, because she didn't restrict us. with regards to what we needed to learn. She opened us up to everything from crystal, how to use crystals, to healing, to mediumship, to tarot cards, which was her speciality. But energy, reading energy, was a primary thing, the basis of everything. And then, of course, so many other things. And so while my logical businesses and stuff were happening, I was on this spiritual journey of opening up to my intuition and exploring it more and learning more skills and getting really good at it, to a point where I thought, oh, I can make some spare money. Why not? Because, I used to attend a lot of her extra workshops, and the things I would say to people, they were like, my God, how do you know? You've only just met me. And I went, I don't know.
I just do.
Exactly. I thought, you know what? Why don't I make money on the side?
Question to you, if I may jump in here for a second, because I've been on a similar journey. How was it for you coming from this practical background, this let's call it physical, to go on this accidental journey, for that matter, of trusting something we can't see?
For me, because I've always grown up in being interested in that side of life, or for me, it didn't feel as if I was out of my comfort zone. It felt part of my comfort zone. But the fact that I had those abilities, that was out of my comfort zone in terms of believing it, not actually doing it. And but no, it was absolutely fine. As I said, never part of my life plan. And because it was very organic, and especially the place where I live, it's the hub in the UK for attracting a lot of people who do energy kind of work, who do the woo-woo work that people know and refer to us as. But yeah, so I kind of resonated in that hub, and met a lot of people within that who were able to help in my journey. So anyway, so there's a spiritual part going on. I'm making some pocket money. There's my logical event business. Then my mind went again. And because I was getting really good with the tarots, I started attracting a lot of people who wanted to invite me to parties and group stuff. And again, my mindset came back in. Nope, you can only succeed in one thing. And off went the event business, packed away the tarot reading stuff, coaching, concentrate on coaching. And it wasn't until about 2 years ago that I realized that that was my pattern. That's what I had done. The universe is giving me so much abundance, and each and every time I'm the one packing it up and then saying to the universe, why aren't you on my side? Why aren't you helping me? And the universe is like, I sent you all the ships, and you still chose to drown. It's not my fault.
The thing that pops in my head is this joke of, oh my God, let me win the lottery. Goddamn, buy a freaking ticket. That's kind of the thing that popped in my head, where it's like,
exactly.
Yeah, it's going to come back around till we finally see it, till we finally learn that lesson.
Yeah, exactly. And so 2017, my elder sister passed away. And that, thank you. And that was a change within me, because I had two separate identities. I didn't want my corporate or, logic-headed clients to know that I had this side of me. I thought they would, pack up and I'd lose my business. So I kept two separate identities. Even if you Googled, you wouldn't know that they were connected. And, but when she passed away, that's when I just went, you know what? I don't care anymore. What am I hiding for? I'm paying for two separate websites, two separate things, two this, two that. And I thought, I don't care. So I put it out, as we do on social media. This is who I am. This is what I do. And I was just absolutely so overwhelmed with what came back to me. And it was so much love, so much acceptance, and so much, oh my God, I can't believe you did that. You do that. And then I realized that actually the only person who had judged me was me. I had stopped myself in so many ways, because I had judged my skills and then judged how people would perceive me when actually I had been the judger. As soon as
I feel that one.
Yeah. And as soon as honestly that happened, I used to sit there going, how am I going to bring the two together? How am I going to bring the two together? But because I got out of my own way, the two started coming together. And yeah, I have today's model of what I do, which is combine both the logic and the spiritual, and teach people how they can use the techniques to manifest anything and everything in their life. But of course, I concentrate on the business element, but you can use that in your private life too.
And this is why I love this question. You never know where it's gonna go. And I'm like, I'm feeling this so deep right now. I'm like, I've been my personal journey with spirituality has been all over the place. I'm like, when I was like, I don't even know, 15, 16, I was dabbling in more of the idea of witchcraft and that kind of stuff. Not in a bad way, just curious, just like you, where it's like, okay, what is this? Not being able to explain the things between heaven and earth. How does it fit together? How do I call things into my life?
Yeah.
And then after Pete passing away, just realizing how I went into circles, similar to you, where you, in looking back, realized I got the opportunities and I didn't take them. And then an opportunity came again and I didn't take them. And I saw myself running in a similar circle in certain things where I'm like, I see it. I know what I'm doing. How do I poke a hole in this? And that's where this whole journey started. And the nice thing is there is so many resources for us out there when sometimes it is card readings. I got 2 of my favorite decks literally within reach. I have worked with a tantra healer on the energy side of things, breath work, NLP, timeline, all the things. And I love that we have so many resources to, and I think that's what it comes down to often, to learn to trust our gut. We have the answers. We just don't trust it.
100%. Yeah. And I love what you said as well, that now, which we didn't have, say, over a decade ago, we now have so much information and materials, and the newer generations are more open to it. You know, when I first started, everybody was struggling, you know, closed doors, and there's nothing wrong with us. Now people are embracing that we all need to grow, we all need to change. And they're not afraid to go, yeah, I'm seeing a counselor, I'm seeing a therapist, I'm seeing this. It's like a badge of honor that I'm working on myself and healing myself, as opposed to admitting that I've got so many mistakes within me, which actually isn't, you know.
We're just human.
We're just unlearning the things. It's like being in the Matrix, where you're unlearning the things that society has, you know, told you need to be fitting into, and you're kind of like going, well, actually, no, this isn't working for me, and you're challenging that.
And I'm like, what we also need to remember is we are not starting our life on a blank slate. We are starting our life based on our surroundings, based on our parents, based on our grandparents, based on their perception of things, based on their limiting beliefs, based on their experience. So it's a lot of relearning and finding yourself of, hold on. What's actually me, and what was just imprinted on me, which is, it just is. That's what life is. That's what human nature is. It just is. But really diving into this of, okay, what do I really believe? I breath work last night. I was a blobbing mess, realizing that the little girl in me that wanted her dad to be proud is still holding herself back because I'm afraid to end up better than what he was able to accomplish. How insane is that? When you think logical about it, I'm like, he's been dead since 2007, and this whole belief is still holding me back. But again, using the tools I have to listen within, to catch that limiting belief, to catch that block. And now that I know it's there, I know what it is, I think I partially actually already released that last night,
Yeah.
but I can work on it. If I don't know it's there and I don't know what's making me act in a certain way, then I can't do anything about it.
Exactly. And that's what it is. It's learning to tap into your subconscious so it can give you the answers. So then you can go, like I had that, belief of you can only succeed in one thing, because growing up, that's what we were told: a job for life, career for life. You just stay on the same path. You can't, if you're going to stay in IT, you're going to be doing IT until the day you die. You can't, be doing any other kind of work because you're only trained in one thing. And I did not realize how much of that I carried within my own business journey, that I completely shut down successful businesses and so many opportunities because that belief was the one that was overriding everything else. And but it's great that I know it now, because of course I'm like, been that one. That's not suiting me anymore.
So with this journey and learning that lesson of it doesn't have to be just one or the other, how does life and business look like right now? How have you combined all of your knowledge and all the things you have done? What is business right now?
Business right now is coaching. So it's predominantly one-to-one coaching, but I'm also opening up to group coaching. So what I do with that is I'm working on a very tailored basis. I mean, so we've got the logical part, which is the strategic part. That's all set up. Everybody follows the same format. But when they're having their coaching with me, because everybody's business is different, that's where I'm able to tailor the spiritual part, because that's where I'm able to really ask them the questions and give them the solutions that will help them to make the shifts that they need. So because I'm also a healer and I read tarot, so therefore I'm reading energy, I'm able to see where they're being blocked, because we have the logical blocks, which we all know, it's all our beliefs and our mindset and the way we think, which there are billions of books out there and experts on it. So yep, they're guided in that way. But then there's the emotional blocks as a result of that. And that's the depth that I'm going into, that I'm helping them with that. Because sometimes you can give them the logical strategies, but if that's not making the shift, then you have to go deeper and go, okay, what is it that's really stopping it? So I'm able to do that. And a lot of my clients who come to me are aware of the way that I work. I work a lot with energy. I don't hide it. I work a lot with manifesting, teaching people logical, practical skills on what manifesting is and how it works. You've got to take action. It's not just about visualization. That's just like a little part of the puzzle. Yeah. It's not, the whole thing. There's so much more to manifesting. And what you read in my bio regarding the journey is with ourselves. That's what manifesting is all about. The more you are brave enough to do that journey, and this is what I'm helping my clients with, the more you're able to actually succeed and lay the foundations for your life. One thing I 100%, and this is where the straight talking comes in, I tell my clients, being an entrepreneur is not an easy journey.
Ain't that the truth?
I joined with the myth, within 2 years, I would be successful. I would have this wonderful lifestyle. I would be doing this. I would be doing that. Imagine my shock when 6-7 years on, I'm like, what on earth? Why isn't it happening for me and all of these people it's happening with? And again, nobody tells you that the successful entrepreneurs are also working on themselves. So I say to my clients, this isn't just a practical journey where I'm going to give you strategies. I can give you that, but within a year, you'll be back where you are. I'm also teaching you the daily habits, how your mind is working, because that's the most powerful thing, and then your beliefs, and we're going through that journey together. I'm not just throwing everything at you and going, learn to swim. I'm there guiding you and maximizing the help so that you, even when you're drowning, I'm the hand that's helping to pull you out and teach you. So a lot of my clients, because I'm passionate about it, and because I've been through it myself, and because I didn't have the right guidance, only because the coaches I worked with weren't in that space to be able to guide me, I understand the journey my clients are on or beginning to start going on. So, yeah.
And interestingly enough, in my episode with Rachel Lee, she is a brand consultant. She helps entrepreneurs build their brand, right? And we had a similar conversation where it's our growth. It's not just, you're not just following standard operating procedure and doing your job 9 to 5 and it's done. That's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
So much of our business is us.
Yes.
So if we don't grow, our business doesn't grow. If we don't get clear on who we are and what we do and what we give, it's not going to happen in our business either. So I love I'm one person. I'm like, I go big picture and I go tiny, and how do all of these pieces fit with each other? So guys listening, if you want to dive deeper into this and take a little bit of this into a more practical approach for your implementation in business, make sure you check out the episode with Rachel Lee, where we talked, again, similar to this, where our coaches, or in her case as a brand consultant, it's often that we see in our clients what they don't see yet.
Exactly.
Where it's that growth, the energy, the strength, where it's, I don't even know how to put this right now, where me as a recipient of this, I often get told, oh my God, you're so brave, you're so strong, you've done all of this. And I'm like, I didn't have another choice. Exactly. It was either way I'm gonna go, or I'm just gonna dive off a bridge.
But then that shows that, regarding entrepreneurs, how we never see ourselves as a warrior. And I actually just posted that on Instagram today. And I said, you are a warrior, because so many people see us as this person. And then you're kind of like, really? Am I all of that? Because we don't acknowledge it. I 100% celebrate everything in my clients, all of their successes, all of the little goals, everything. But because you are so busy living your life and going through
so in it,
you don't acknowledge the journey you've been on or what you've been through to get to where you are. And a lot of people who are into personal development, and I've been doing it since I was a teenager, we make assumptions that everybody is like us.
So ain't that a big lesson right now, where I'm like, people don't see the world like I do. And I so often have this moment of,
why don't
it's easy. It's like, it's right there. And I have to remind myself, it's so easy for me because of the path that I've gone, because of how my brain works. And none of us is the same. And I'm like, okay, Evie, go take your journal. Go say thank you. Go revisit how far I have come when I have one of those files where I'm like, what the hell am I actually doing? Who am I to tell people what to do?
Yeah.
And I do go into that practice of, okay, let's step back. Let's remember where we were 5 years ago. Let's celebrate how far we've come. So yeah, I feel that one.
And when people have those times of doubts, it's literally their body, their mind, their soul, the universe, whatever you want to call it, pushing you to level up, pushing you to go past that barrier. So if you have the visual image of you're the runner and you have all of these hurdles, it's literally, come on, you can get over that hurdle. You don't need to stop at it and then turn around and go the opposite way. All you need to do is be brave enough to jump and believe that you can jump. And then people who are brave enough to, they're like, yeah, great, I've got the first one, so that's easy. And then they carry on. And that's what the journey with yourself is about. It gets easier because, as you said, you have the toolbox to deal with things, to deal with adversity. By no means, does the journey get smoother, because we all still get thrown challenges. but we just know how to handle things a little bit better than the last time it happened.
I love that. With that, let's go a little bit back into the practical, because I love me some tools and processes. What's some of your favorite tools and processes that allow you to run your business right now, that allow you to do all the things you want to do?
Well, I'm a tech nerd. I don't hide that part either. That was my upbringing. That's where my degree was, so I'm a tech nerd. So I'm all about how can I maximize technology so that I don't have to waste time doing the things that I don't need to do, like the repetitive tasks. So I've got, as much as I can, I'm always automating my processes. I automate my social media, so people think even when I'm on holiday, sitting on a beach, that my gosh, you work so hard. And I'm like, yeah, because posts are going up at 11 p.m. and I'm not doing it. So all of those kinds of perceptions, I've automated a lot of my processes, templates, but in doing all of those things, it allows you to see and be clearer with regards to where you can delegate and outsource to people and other things that you want to do yourself. So I do plan my year. I need to know what I want to be concentrating on, what my projects are, and then I work backwards to the quarterly, to the daily, and things like that, so that every day I have a plan. I know what I'm working towards, and that's something I guide my clients to learn as well, because again, all of those skills were not taught to me. For me, when I started in business, it was just about get the clients, get the money, you're in business. Nobody said in order to stay in business and keep on building and succeeding, you need to actually have a sales projection. No, that's what salespeople do. It's not what I do. It's what salespeople do. And then all of a sudden, I'm constantly learning, because you have to. As an entrepreneur, you start off wearing all the hats. So it's not just the personal development learning, you're learning constant skills as well. And so systems are very, very important to me in order to help and make and save time. But also knowing where my business is going and how I want it to go. But because I am spiritual, because I do believe in energy, I wing it. I know a lot of people will be like, okay, I've got to have the figures and to the point and everything else. Whereas I'm very much, I know where I want to go. I know how much, what I want to do, but then I have a lot of flexibility in trusting my intuition. Like an example this week.
I think we are really similar on that, where it's like, okay, I know where I'm going. I know what I want to accomplish. I'm not going to try to micromanage how we get there.
Yeah. This podcast, completely organic, completely intuition, send, connection happened. And yeah, not planned.
We have a little guideline. I'm like, my audience knows we have a little guideline. We got 3 questions that guide our conversation.
Exactly.
And everything else is just like, we just roll with it. We know where we want to go, but we're not going to micromanage and script the whole thing.
Exactly. So yes, of course, I know I want to be in podcasts and be, a guest and connect with people, but I don't go to the nth degree of which podcast and who, I want to be connecting with. That I allow my intuition and guidance, and I've never, ever been wrong in terms of that. So that there's a lot of that I'm also teaching my clients, but I also follow in my business. So definitely the planning has to happen, because otherwise you don't have a business. But the nth degree in beginning to trust myself and the decisions that happen, but that I leave to my guidance.
I love that. And I think that is a perfect end for our episode today. Guys, if you want to dive deeper into the idea of personal growth and implementing that with business growth, how they get along, go check out, as I mentioned before, the episode I done with Rachel Lee, where we talk about personal growth and how it also grows your brand. And we have, Ambila, let the audience know, where can they find you? And yes, guys, it's all in the show description. You will be able to just click on a link. But go tell the guys, where can they find you? And I think you actually also have a freebie for us.
I do. So where you can find me, just Google my name. And if you get the spelling right, I will be there. But the quickest way is Instagram. So it's Ambila_Nath. And that's the quickest way of getting hold of me. But I also do have a freebie. I am giving a free download of a guide on why manifesting isn't working for you. So if you've been struggling, then download this free guide. Just go onto my website. I think we have the link.
Yeah.
Or click on the link, and then you'll be able to download that, and then you'll be able to know exactly why it's not working for you.
I will be in there because my manifesting has been a 50-50 kind of chance. Ambila, thank you so much for joining me. And guys, everybody listening and watching, I will be seeing you in the next episode.